The old Saudi waited a week for his Muslim lawyer and his Indian maidservant. Instead of 24 hours, he had given his lawyer 7 days. When Barkatullah did not show, the old man assumed that his crooked lawyer had taken Ifat out of Mumbai and hidden her somewhere in India. He lost no time locating a few dangerous Gondas to search for his Indian maidservant and his crooked lawyer. He planned to tempt the Gondas with huge amount of money and set them after the kidnapper of his beloved wife and the robber of his 14 crores of rupees. The first step he took, he asked one of his inmates to connect him with the most dangerous Gondas in Mumbai. He proposed to pay 10,000 rupees to his inmate. That inmate was about to be released in a week's time. The inmate promised to supply him with the best Gondas in the city. Moreover, the old Saudi man gave the inmate a letter to the manager of his bank. In the letter, he requested the manager to send someone with a checkbook so that he could pay the Indians he was hiring for his case. When the bank received the letter, it sent someone to the jail and met with Mr. Sheikh Faiz bin Ahmed. The old man almost had a heart attack when the bank told him that he could not withdraw more than 1,000 Indian rupees per day. His account was no longer his alone. What he did have was a joint account with his equal's Indian wife, Ifat Khan. It was he who made that condition: neither party of the joint account is to withdraw more than 1,000 rupees without the consent of the other. This stipulation in place, the old man will now need Ifat Khan to approve any withdrawal exceeding 1,000 rupees on any given day. Naturally, the bank refused to allow him to withdraw more than the agreed upon sum as a single signatory. The old man told the bank that his Indian wife had stolen 14 crores from him and eloped with his Muslim lawyer. The bank informed him that he should go to the police to solve his problem. The old man begged the bank to dissolve the joint account and create one account under his name. The bank said that the joint account could not be cancelled without the consent of Ifat Khan. The bank did tactfully suggest that if one of signatories passed away, the surviving signatory would be entitled to the entire sum and the account would revert to a single account holder. The Saudi business tycoon had more than 400 crores of rupees in the joint account at the time when the Abu Dhabi International Bank imposed the withdrawal restrictions on him. He felt like a man who was dying of thirst and was standing in the midst of a huge river and could not drink water unless he used a thimble. His final trial was scheduled to take place in a couple of months. He knew that if he could not find another lawyer and use him to purchase his freedom, he would go to the gallows and leave his wealth to his accursed Indian wife. The old man had already transferred all his properties in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to the name of Ifat Khan without her knowledge. Even his 2 houses in Asmara and Tehran were hers. Sheikh Faiz bin Ahmed hated all his sons and daughters. He even hated his Saudi wives. He did not want any one of his wives to inherit the houses they were living in. At the time of his arrest in Mumbai, he was still had to have 2 Saudi wives. His second wife passed away long time ago. The disappearance of his Indian wife created a serious problem to him. It was now a question of life and death for him. At first, he did not want to inform his Saudi families about his arrest in Mumbai. He remembered that when he was arrested at Asmara with his 11-year-old Indian child bride, all his wives, sons, and daughters stood against him because they saw it as an unconscionable shame for him to have married the daughter of his Indian maidservant. Even his surviving cousin brothers and sisters and distant relatives disapproved his marriage. Ifat was but a girl from a lowly Muslim background. None of relatives, close or distant, came to court when he was on trial in Jeddah. And when the court cleared him from the charges that the CIA team tried to nail him with, none of his relatives had come to congratulate him on his victory. For that reason, Sheikh Ahmed decided to punish all his wives and children by cutting them from his great wealth. Nevertheless, after his Indian wife supposedly left him and ran away with his Indian lawyer, the old man decided to bite the bullet and seek the help of one of his sons. He wrote a long letter to his son and asked him to come as soon as possible and save him before the accursed Hindu idolaters send him to the gallows. In his letter, he requested his son not to inform anyone about his second marriage to his second Indian wife and his arrest. His son was even more furious when he came to know that his father had once again married another low-caste Muslim woman, this one from the Arizal tribe of India. Fearing the scandal that would result from his father's execution in Mumbai, he made plans to go to India and preserve the honor of his noble Saudi family. When the son arrived at Mumbai and visited his father in the jail, he became more outraged when he came to know that his father had transferred all his money and properties to his first Indian wife. At first, he decided to forsake his father and leave him to die in the Indian jail. This would do nothing but leave the reputation of his family in the balance. He told his father his terms. Unless his father places his right hand on the Holy Quran and his left hand on his head and swear by the name of his family that he would not repeat these disgraceful acts, he could expect no help. The father obeyed his son and swore on the Holy Quran that he would never ever marry an Indian woman again. Somehow, this did not satisfy his son. He asked his father to make a second solemn oath. This time, he asked his father to swear by his penis and the Holy Kaaba in Mecca. Some Muslim Arab men considered the most important things for the man are his penis and the house of Allah. Wherefore, the old man placed his left hand on his penis and he pointed his right hand towards the Qibla and made that serious oath. Then, and only then, the son agreed to find a good lawyer for his father and tempt him with money and purchase the freedom of his father. The old man told his son about the secret deal that was made between him and the judge and the 2 police commissioners. The son decided to renew the unfulfilled deal, but he told his father that he would not pay more than 50 lakhs each, 5 million Indian rupees each. He was a medical doctor at Jeddah and did not have that much money in his account. Before appointing a new lawyer, the son contacted the judge of the High Court and the 2 police commissioners and told them about the new offer. The 2 police commissioners agreed to the 50 lakhs before the trial. They both demanded 1 crore after the father was released. The judge of the High Court demanded 75 lakhs before the trial and 2 crores after the father was acquitted with honor. The son accepted the demands of the 3 men of the law with the hope that his father would find a way after his release to get his frozen money released and pay off the rest of the funds. The judge informed the son that if the father would not pay the rest of the money after his release he would be subjected to a retrial and convicted. The son accepted the condition. This time, the first installments were paid off in a less complicated fashion. Instead of traveling to Zurich and opening secret accounts, the son wrote 3 checks and handed them over to the judge and the 2 police commissioners. It was up to each one to decide whether he wants to deposit his check in his Indian account or prefers to travel to one of the OPEC countries and opens a secret account and deposits his funds there. After making the new deal with those corrupt men of the law, the son found another crooked Muslim Indian lawyer and told him the plan. However, the son misled the lawyer into thinking that he paid each party 5 lakhs and that he would pay each the same amount after the release of his father. The Muslim lawyer accepted the deal and thanked his Allah. With the new deal in place, there was now merely 15 days to the final trial. The trial of Sheikh Faiz bin Ahmed was conducted on a Friday afternoon at the Mumbai High Court. Muslims gathered in hundreds outside the court and continued to shout and demand the release of the Saudi Muslim man. Inside the courtroom, Hindus sat calmly and waited for the verdict to be delivered. Everyone expected a verdict of guilty and the kidnapper and rapist of the 11-year-old Indian girl to be punished to the full extent of the law. The judge was a Hindu and that gave them assurance that the wicked old Saudi was going to be sent to the gallows. When the final hearing of the trial began, the assurance was shaken. The evidence presented in court astonished the audience. First of all, the Mumbai Chhatrapati Shivaji International Airport police changed their statements. They said that when they asked the girl about her age she said she was 17 years old. Her passport also showed that her age was 17. They doubted her age and that why they arrested the old Saudi who claimed he was taking her to Iran as his maidservant. Secondly, the Hyderabad police commissioner supplied evidence that the marriage agency and the family of Amina Hyder Ali had fooled the Saudi man. The corrupt police commissioner brought to court Amina's father, mother, brothers, and sisters. All of them testified under oath that they told the old Saudi that their daughter was 17 years old. Thirdly, the police commissioner of Mumbai produced Amina as a witness, who then told the court she had told the Saudi she was 17. In fact, the Mumbai police commissioner was the one who had bribed the airport police and made them to change their statements. Fourth, the only problem that faced the court was the maidservant visa. Even so, the Muslim lawyer was able to convince the court why the Saudi man decided to take Amina Hyder Ali to Tehran as his maidservant and not as his lawful wife. He argued that his client was advised by someone to take his Indian wife under a work visa because that would hasten the process of their travel. The lawyer said further that his client had a lot of work to do and had no time to waste in India waiting for long process of getting an Indian wife out of the country. At the end of the trial, the crooked High Court judge nullified the marriage contract between Amina Hyder Ali and Sheikh Ahmed because it was based on deception and it was illegal in India to marry a girl below the age of 17. Additionally, he ruled that the old Saudi was a victim of deception and conspiracy. He raised his voice above the rising murmurs of the courtroom and announced, "Sheikh Faiz bin Ahmed is to be released with honor." The Hindu audience began to shout and protest and refused to leave the court. The police used their batons and emptied the courtroom. The Muslims began to rejoice and celebrate outside the courtyard when they heard the outcome of the trial. The outrageous Hindu crowd driven from the courts met head-to-head with the celebrating Muslim crowd and fierce fighting erupted immediately. Many people were beaten up and some were knocked down. The police had to use tear gases to disperse the crowd. The local and national media broadcasted the results of the trial. People all over India received the news with shock. They were outraged when they came to know that a Muslim child abuser and pedophile walked out of the Mumbai High Court with honor. Many people believed that the wealthy Saudi business tycoon had bribed the judge and the police of Mumbai and Hyderabad. Even so, no one could prove it. Muslims all over India celebrated the release of the pedophile Saudi man. Nonetheless, the celebration of the Muslims of India and the happiness of the 80-years-old Saudi man were premature and only temporary. A news agency in Mumbai known as Stink News shocked the entire Indian nation when it broadcast a few hours later, the confessions of the High Court judge and the police commissioners of Mumbai and Hyderabad. All three confessions were videotaped and handwritten so that the judge and the two police commissioners could not deny them. The Home Ministry at New Delhi ordered immediately the arrest of the three Indian culprits. Sheikh Faiz bin Ahmed was rearrested. He was picked up from his hotel room at Taj Mahal. The question of the day was how the Stink News found those secret confessions. No one would believe that the three men of the law make such dangerous and foolish admissions. In an interview that followed the broadcasting of the three confessions, the director of the Stink News said that an anonymous person sent to him the confessions through the mail. He received them a week before the final trial. Nonetheless, he decided to keep them hidden from the police and the public until the trial was over. He did not want the three corrupt men of the law to get away with the crores of rupees that they received from the old Saudi. Needless to say, the confessions were the very ones which the old man ordered his Indian wife to mail to his house address at Tehran, Iran. Ifat Khan followed the order of her Saudi husband and sent them as registered mail. When that registered mail reached the address, the Iranian postman found the house was locked and no one was there to sign and receive the registered mail. The postman made 3 attempts to deliver the mail, but he couldn't. In due course, the local post office returned the mail to the General Post Office and stamped it as undeliverable mail. The General Post Office at Tehran returned the mail to the sender in Mumbai. The undelivered mail returned to the hotel where Ifat Khan used to stay before the men of Mahmud Khan kidnapped her. The hotel management kept the mail for a month. When no one came and claimed it, they decided to get rid of it. Out of curiosity, one of the front desk girls opened the mail. She thought that she might find a nice video of a foreign film or songs. Therefore, she hid it in her handbag and smuggled it to her house. When she played the tapes and read the papers, she was astonished at the contents. The girl knew that if the police commissioner of Mumbai came to know that she was in possession of such incriminating evidence, they would not hesitate to send someone to murder her or arrest her and nail her with an ugly crime. She talked to her boyfriend. Her boyfriend suggested that she should send the confessions to the Stink News. He knew that the Stink News' raison d'etre was none other than unearthing scandals of high-profile Indians. To avoid being involved in such conspiracy, the boyfriend told his girlfriend to send the materials as an anonymous person. The Stink News' closest twin would be the international non-profit organization of WikiLeaks. A couple of days later it also broadcast the confession of a Muslim lawyer who wasn't part of the trial. The new confession revealed that the Muslim lawyer admitted in tape and through writing that he was going to receive 3 crores of rupees prior to the trial and 3 crores after the trial. That indicated he was going to receive more money than the corrupt judge and the 2 crooked police commissioners. The confession of Sheikh Barkatullah puzzled the police of Mumbai. When the police went to arrest him, they did not find him. They did not find even his family members. From his neighbors the police came to know that he sold his house a couple of months ago and left India and travelled to Pakistan. Moreover, the police was puzzled by the new Muslim lawyer who replaced Barkatullah. The Indian WikiLeaks had no information on him. Given the notoriety of the case, he was picked up, and succumbed under interrogation. He admitted to receiving a bribe from the son of the old Saudi. The police was puzzled by the 5 lakhs he claimed to have received prior to the trial. It was a mysterious question to the Mumbai police. The police could not solve the mystery. It just remained unsolved riddle that the former Muslim lawyer who sold his house and escaped to Pakistan was promised 6 crores, whereas the new Muslim lawyer who replaced him was only promised 10 lakhs. Sheikh Barkatullah was not the only person who escaped unharmed from the stink scandal. The son of Sheikh Ahmed also flew out of Mumbai the same night his father was rearrested at his room in the Taj Mahal Hotel. The police of Mumbai issued arrest warrant against the sender of the secret confessions. The sender was identified as an Indian Muslim maidservant of the old Saudi. Her name was Ifat Khan. Her name was published in every newspaper in Mumbai with her photo. Again, the police did not have a recent photograph of her. Her passport was renewed by the Indian embassy at Tehran a couple of weeks before her return to India. The passport showed that she lived for short time in Saudi Arabia. She lived 3 years in Asmara, Eritrea, and 7 years in Tehran, Iran. The police also guessed that she was sexually involved with the old Saudi. As before, the police could not trace her family in Mumbai. The address in her passport showed that she used to live with her family at Vakola colony, which turned out to be fictitious. The residents of the colony were all Hindus. None of the residents of the colony had claimed to have known a Muslim family by the name of Khan. The police was able to find the date she travelled to Saudi Arabia along with her mother, Rehana Khan. What puzzled the police was the variation of the date in which her passport was issued and the date she travelled out of India through the Mumbai International Airport. It appeared that her passport was issued after she left India. This was another mystery that mystified the minds of all the police of Mumbai. Still, her arrest warrant was issued, as she was deemed to be a critical component of the complicity.